Okay, the original origins of what people call the Airchair. I'll say Cobra Attacking Eagle first. Okay, the original, of course, it's the chair freeze. Okay, it comes out of the chair freeze. I had a move out of the chair freeze that I call Captain Hook. If you want to look at a reference for that move, it's the move that I do at Radiotron 1995 or 96 when we battle Renegades. I do a chair freeze, and then my overlap chair freeze, and then my leg wraps around underneath and it pulls me over. And I do what some people call a Valdez or a macaco, like in capoeira. So what I'll do is I'll do the chair, hook under like Captain Hook, and then pull myself over. My head would slide under, then I would stand up and go into a knee drop or something like that. That was the first move, the first evolution of the move. So I call it Captain Hook, like the story Captain Hook, all right? And it's like hooking and then pulling up. Then one day I was training, and I was training on a rug, and I got stuck. So I did the Captain Hook, and when I went to pull up, and usually my head slides under, I went to lift and I got stuck when I lifted, and my head didn't slide because I was on the rug. So I got stuck, so I tried to push really hard, and my head ended up lifting off the ground like doing a crunch sit-up, okay? And then I just fell. And then stunts and them were like, yo, yo, you know what I mean? And they were just like, yo, that's fresh, you know, that's fresh. So yeah, then that was the beginning of the development. Basically, it was a mistake, you know what I mean? And as I tell people in workshops and around the world, and as I learned as a kid watching other people, if you do a mistake with style, finesse, and class, it's not a mistake anymore. It's a move. So do all the mistakes you want so it can be funky. You know what I'm saying? Just do it funky, actually. So at first, to go back to the freeze, at first I would lift up and I was trying to see what I can do with it, but my other hand that wasn't supported on the ground, touching the ground, wasn't doing anything. It was kind of just in the air. And I believe everything should be a picture. You know what I mean? I've learned watching the way I told you focus way back, think of everything as a picture. Think of everything as a sentence, a beginning to end, complete dot, you know? So what I was trying to do, I would look at it and I would feel, I said, it doesn't feel right with this hand. So I kept trying to find things to do with the hand, like put it here, or put it on the nuts, or grab the knee, or, you know, and it just didn't feel right. Then you know, I'm a big fan of Kung Fu movies. I got a big collection of Kung Fu movies in boxes at the moment back in LA. And I'd watch them, and it was a Kung Fu flick. It was a Cobra style, okay, versus an Eagle style. And one guy had Cobra style, the other guy had Eagle style. So the guy got knocked down by the Eagle's claw, and when he fell, the Eagle went to fly over him to claw him again, and the guy was on his back and he hopped off his back, like he popped up like hopping backspins, you know, but without the spin. Just hopped up like that, and he attacked with the Cobra strike in the Eagle's chest as he was trying to jump. And I said, wow, that's so dope, you know. So I was practicing back rocks, go over, go into a chair, Captain Hook, lift up, and if I'm close enough to the opponent standing looking down at me as I'm chairing, as I lift up, I would strike in the jugular. I would strike the guy in the neck, but wouldn't touch him, but act like I strike, and then I would land on the ground and wait for the venom to poison the person like they just got burnt, okay? And that was the idea of the Cobra Attacking Eagle. Then I pulled it out in a jam called the Halloween Jam, and it was organized by Irvin Arana, you know, and from Ugly People Crew. And yeah, I did it there. The next thing you know, that was probably about 99, I think, 98, 99. Then another jam happened called the Clash 2000, and then I did it there again, and then that video went around the world, and then it got popular. The freeze started getting really popular. To build on about the Clash 2000, for those that don't know, in France, they call my move Clash. And the reason they call it Clash is because of that video, Clash 2000. Okay, they didn't know the name of the move, or they didn't say Poe One or so-and-so wherever they saw it from. They didn't know what to call it, so they called it Clash. And they took the 2000 out. But the event was called Clash 2000, like Clash of the Titans. You know what I mean? And so they took it, and started calling it Clash without any respect to the history or who they bit it from or nothing. So basically, it's kind of like, it kind of makes me laugh because now there's b-boys with names like King Clash, Little Clash, and to be honest, you guys, that does not make any sense because there's no such thing as a clash. You know what I mean? That's no disrespect, but that's just being real. There's no such thing. Later on through the years, like in B-Boy Summit 2000, Bebe brought out a version from Ground Zero. He wouldn't lift up in the Airchair. He would just lean on and then grab his foot. Then he created a spinning one called the Sprinkler. Then he created the hopping ones. You know, so he advanced the moves, and then kids started calling it Airchair because it comes from a chair position. So yeah, the move kept evolutionizing. So for me, it's okay if you use a move as foundation to create something else, because a foundation builds something else and something else and something else. But always try to keep, I believe, to try to keep the history intact. You know what I mean? I think it's very important. If you know you got the move from somebody, build with that person. Talk with that person of how they created it. Know the history of that. Kind of like what Flomo is doing right now. You know what I mean? You know, Focus and AT, they taking an interview, doing an interview because they want people to know about the history of this move because they feel that it's gotten out of hand and people have forgotten. You know, and that's an honor actually that you guys think that way and you're hungry for that knowledge and stuff. So that makes me realize that there's still beautiful people in this world that really care about the culture, and it's architects and it's people that help continue the life of this span. Like, we don't have any books, you know, really we don't have a lot of books that speak of the history because there's so much arguing and all this pride and bitterness, you know. But documentation of video and getting the words out from certain people, I think that's the best knowledge out there, you know. The how would I say, the culture is so young that a lot of our pioneers are still here. I'm nowhere near a pioneer. I'm 82 generation. I started when I was 12 years old. I'm 45 now. That's a, you know, off and on, you know, generation. There's people way before me. Like the Airchair, what people call the Airchair, Cobra Track and Eagle, would not exist if it wasn't for a chair freeze. You understand what I mean? So you have to show respect to the lineage, you know what I mean, of all these people. So yeah, that's how it came about. So what else? Oh, how I feel. Okay, how I feel about people using it. I actually like that people use it. I like that there's a foundation, and what people have done with it nowadays, it's crazy, you know what I mean? Dropping from 90 to one with their hand still on their waist, spinning, then dropping down and head gliding. All that stuff to me is like, okay, that's some fresh combinations that they're using it as steps to do something else, you know what I mean? But I will rebuild that. It's very important to not lose sight of where the moves come from, you know what I mean? I know Legs brought the continuous backspin, you know what I mean? The first head spin, the chair, you know, Spy, Shorty Rock with the 6-step, you know what I mean? It's like listening to some of my teachers, you know, you listening to the older guys, listening to Track 2, listening to ICIs, listening to Abby, you know, Fable, Wiggles, Little Lep, shit, the list goes on, Ness, so many people that I listen to talk. Even the youngsters, I watch how their transitions on, I learn from them, and I see how they break things down and they remind me of things. So it's like, all that for me is important, you guys, like, to remember where it comes from, you know what I'm saying? Just remember where it comes from, you guys. I don't mind if you use it, but I'll tell you this much. I would never battle, if I ever battled Legs, I would never do the continuous backspin against Legs. Bottom line, not against the creator. I would show him what I've built from it, how I've used it as transitions and stuff, but the exact move, I would never use it. I have guys that go against me with my own moves, then I do it, and they call me a biter because they don't even know that it was my move. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like I look at them like, oh, really? Okay, cool. You know, so for me, it sounds, I mean, it looks very bitter and it looks arrogant on people that don't really know what they're doing and they're just taking from people. And how are you going to call somebody a biter if you know damn well where you got it from? You probably got it from somebody else. Even if you don't know it's from me, you got it from somebody else that's doing it. So how can you be calling me a biter if you're doing it? You know what I'm saying? It's like, come on, yo. It doesn't make sense. So be real with the situation, you guys. You know what I mean? Learn everything you can. You know, respect the architects. All right? Yeah. Peace, you guys. Thank you, huh? Thanks, man.